What's up, guys? Yo. So I've made a new YouTube channel because, like, I just want to talk about some neuroscience and my beliefs and my theories and the actual proofs that I have for certain things. And that a lot of people struggle in today's society and today's economy that we live in. And like, I know some stuff that other people don't. And I want to share this in this video, some knowledge. Because, a lot of you out there believe a lot of lies, or not a lot of lies, we could say, but we misinterpret certain things that people say, right? And one thing that a lot of us heard about was this thing called dopamine detox, or we could say dopamine fasting, right? And what this essentially means is dopamine fasting is kind of like where you abstain from pleasurable activities that bring you pleasure, like, let's say, binge eating, watching porn, like not scrolling on social media, like, etc. Like, it's this idea that pleasure is bad because the more that you consume, the the more you are going to the less you're going to be able to delay gratification, right? And this is actually true, and this is actually very real thing, and actually happened to me myself, that I didn't know what's happening. So when I was younger, I view life in so, like, this profound way, like I was very emotional, but in a positive way. Like, I could feel a lot of reward in regular things and activities, and I had a lot of motivation to study and to do homework and to basically do what I had to do, right? And I didn't know that later on in life I just kind of felt dull, I kind of felt empty, and I didn't know why. And now that I grew older, because now I'm 17, right? I just realized, man, life just feels so fucking empty, just feels so weird. Like, I can't feel pleasure, I can't feel like any fun anymore. And I've started doing this new thing called dopamine detox. And here's what I want to talk about, my experience and what this actually is. And it's gonna surprise you at the end of this video. So what dopamine detox actually is is this idea. Yes, I said before, like, it's about reducing pleasure, but it's not actually reducing pleasure. What you're doing is you're actually increasing your motivation or pleasure in things, or we could say attention, right? Because dopamine has a lot of functions in the brain. Let's say it drives motor, let's say, it affects movement, right? So people, let's say, who have Parkinson's disease, they cannot move their arms and legs correctly, they're very stiff, they're very rigid. Another thing that dopamine seems to be doing is it seems to drive attention and focus, right? So if you can't focus and you have to, like, kind of listen to one thing multiple times in order to remember it, well, it's not about memory, it's more about, like, attention and stuff. Like, you can't be present enough. That is a sign that you have, like, dopamine problem, right? But what people don't understand is they think that dopamine detox is about, like, removing dopamine from the brain, which is actually absolute BS. Like, first of all, dopamine has a very important functions in the brain, and you cannot just deplete dopamine, right? You have to deplete the actual precursor to dopamine. And second of all, it is true, though, that dopamine detox will actually solve dopamine problem, but it's not about dopamine. Yes, it will make you more motivated, it will make you less anhedonic, which anhedonia, what it actually means is an inability to experience pleasure, which I struggle with. And actually dopamine will also reduce your anxiety, but not like directly, like, let's say, certain drugs, or let's say certain, like, therapies, but like more of a sense that you're more fulfilled with what you've done in life, and you, like, feel ready to do something a bit dangerous or something a bit risky. So I don't think dopamine is the problem, but what seems to be happening, and I've actually watched a lot of videos on one YouTube channel called Dopamine Warriors, and that guy explained it correctly and perfectly. He said, like, when you sort of abstain from pleasurable activities, you're actually creating more pleasure, right? Because you increase dopamine sensitivity, because your brain is sort of becomes used to decreased dopamine activity, right? Because having a lot of dopamine is one thing, but activity of the actual neurons and how those neurons work is the actual another thing which people don't understand it. And what seems to be happening is the receptors that dopamine binds to seems to upregulate, right? That's the only logical explanation, right? Then I don't know if that's actually proven, but it's actually the only logical explanation for why people feel better than when they abstain from pleasurable activities and from pleasurable things. So yes, dopamine detox does work, and I've tried it myself. And I'm not perfect; I'm still improving, but I just feel a greater effect. Like I feel like more pleasure in food, like even like things that were like boring before just feel more excited, and I just feel more courageous, and I just feel more proud, and for no reason. Like it just happens. The sort of my brain chemistry has changed, but not in a sense of like a drug, taking drug or some shit, but like I've literally increased the sensitivity of dopamine, right? Which is very important, right? You need to be highly sensitive to dopamine rather than having low sensitivity. And yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say. So the next time someone, says it doesn't work, it's not actually proven, it's not in the studies, just like don't listen to them, because they haven't tried themselves, because most people don't actually try what they hear is the right thing to try, right? So yeah, that seems to be getting it. So yeah, we should absolutely try to increase dopamine. I actually made a video after a couple of hours on how, or actually now make another video on how to actually increase dopamine. So you should watch that out. uh, Peace, see you later.